Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, in continuation with the series of building a fully automated CRM, we're going to learn how to transcribe and summarize some meetings automatically. And this system is really convenient because it's gonna save us money in softwares like Firefly's AI or OpenAI. And also it's going to help us to easily extract the main points and ideas of a meeting so we can send it to another member of the team easily. So hit the subscribe button to not miss any chapter of the series, and at the end of it you will have an automated CRM exactly like the one that I use at my automation agency. And now let's go into the video. I'm going to do first a quick overview of the system so we make sure that everyone understands it. So basically we have three elements. We have the Zoom recordings, we have the make scenario, and we have the Airtable database. And every time there is a Zoom recording that is finished, the trigger is going to start the make scenario. And what we are going to do is basically find the URL on the Airtable database, and if there is that URL on the Airtable database, then we are going to continue with the automation. And why are we doing this? Because obviously we're going to be using Zoom for other things that are different than sales meetings, and we may need to record the calls as well, but we may not need a summary of them. So that's why we only continue the scenario if our Zoom meeting join URL is already in our Airtable database. And now that we have done that quick overview, I'm going to go to the Airtable database so you actually see what fields do we actually need. So here we are in the Airtable database, and just in case that you are wondering what are these fields and what are these columns, we created this database in the previous video where basically we were pulling the new Calendly meetings into Airtable. And basically these are the three links that we're going to need. In first place, the meeting link, because it's going to be the field that we're going to search our Zoom meeting by, and then the other two, the meeting summary and the meeting recording link, because are going to be the ones that we are going to want to have access in case that we actually want to check. And now let's go to the make scenario and let's see what we actually did. So as you can see, this is not a very complex scenario, but I'm going to be explaining step by step what we actually did so you can implement it. So basically we have to start the scenario with a watch recording module, and if you want to select that module, you just have to look for the Zoom app here, but in this case it's going to be here because it's already in use, and then select a watch recordings module. Okay, it's basically this one. So basically what this is going to do is to wait for any type of change that we have in a Zoom recording. Then obviously once we have our Zoom recording and everything is ready, we're going to have to get the meeting, just to get all the information from the meeting. So basically we're going to use this get a meeting module, and here we're going to select our user ID, the one that is connected with our Zoom account, and then we're going to select the meeting ID, okay? And if you're wondering what is the variable here, we just have to go here, go to payload, then select recording, and then selecting meeting/webinar ID, that in this case is over here, okay? So I'm going to delete this one, and now we're going to explain the next module that actually is an Airtable search record module. And basically here, what we're going to do is to find the existing record in our Airtable database, and then to make sure that it actually exists. And for this, we're going to use this formula, meeting link equal join URL. And here it's very important that this name over here actually matches perfectly the name of your column in Airtable. So in case that you want to see what variable is this one, you just have to go here to join URL and then select it. In this case, I'm going to delete it, but that would be it. And in the next step, I have set up a filter. And why I'm doing this? Because basically, if the total number of bundles when we search a record in this module is 0, then we don't want to continue with the scenario, because it means that, yeah, we may have a new recording, but new recording is not related at all with a sales meeting, and consequently, we're not going to be interested in summarizing the meeting. Obviously, you can delete this filter, but what is going to happen is that every time that you have a new Zoom recording, then the scenario is going to run completely, and you're going to run this scenario with every recording that you make. So then here, we're going to use a download a cloud recording module. And here it's very important because we actually need to select the download URL and the download token. So how we do this? Basically, we go here and then we type download URL. And as we can see, it's this one, okay? And then we just have to do the same with the token. And it's this one. And we just have to map it, and that would be ready to go. So then here, the first thing that we're going to do with OpenAI is to create a transcription. And actually this model is a bit tricky because if we map it with the Zoom administration download a cloud recording module, that is the natural thing to do, then we're not going to be able to map the exact format that we actually want. And what is going to happen is that here we're going to have a buffer data, and we're not going to be able to read it, and we're not going to be able to transcribe it. So here we can do this way to map it, and then select the file name, and then add the extension .m4a. This way we're going to add the right format to the extension, and we're going to be able to transcribe it with Whisper. And then here
the file data is basically this one that you can see here. So there is only 2 modules in the download upload recording module. So let's go now to the next one. And here actually this is super important because basically we're going to ask to the AI what information do we want to extract or not, and how we want to extract it. And as you can see here, I'm extracting some basic information like who they are and what they want to do, their current situation, their biggest pain, the softwares that they are using and the team involved, and then create a brief conclusion. Obviously, we can ask for feedback like how did we conduct the sales call and this type of information. But in this case, this is the information that I'm asking for. And here I'm using GPT 3.5, but to be honest, I'm going to change it right now to GPT 4 because it's way better. Let's be clear. Here in the next step, we're going to use a Google Docs create a document module. And basically here, we're going to add a name of the file, but in this case, I'm going to change it and I'm going to say interview and then the first name underscore email of the person. So we actually have it mapped. Then also we're going to create the content with the message that we have created previously in this model from here in the previous step. And then we're going to save it to our drive. Actually, we can select a folder here, but it's not needed because then we are simply going to include the link in our table. Then in the next step, we're going to use a Google Docs download a document module because basically we're going to transform the document that we have created in the previous step and we're going to transform it into a PDF. And why are we doing this? Because in the next step, whenever we're sending information to the rest of the team members, we're going to be sending this PDF over here. As you can see, we can map it. And here, basically, it's a very simple setup of the body content, and it's basically a team, incoming project, and then all the information of the customer, all the meeting, and then the deadline for it. So as you can see, it's very easy. And here we should write the email of our team members. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be okay, not a lot to do. And then here, the last step is going to be an error table at the record module. And here it's very easy because we actually just have to map the record ID with the ID of the search record module that we use in the first Airtable step. Okay, so we just need to do this. I'm going to delete this one. And then we're going to add the meeting summary that is a web view link. And then we're also going to add the recording link in case that the team member actually wants to see it. So whenever everything is ready, what is going to happen is that we're going to go to our Airtable CRM. And here we're going to have our meeting summary, the document of the summary, and here we're going to have our meeting recording link. So as you can see, this is a very simple setup, but it's going to save us money in paid software like OpenAI or effortlessly, and also it's going to save us time in downloading and summarizing the Zoom meetings. And if you actually want to purchase this template, I left a link in the description. And the template actually includes the make scenario and the Airtable database, so you don't have anything else to add. So that would be it. And now remember to subscribe and to hit that like button, because we're going to be uploading more videos of this automated CRM series. See you in the next video, guys.